The 1989 Tiananmen Square protest, remembering a dark period. The 1989 Tiananmen Square protest is one of the most significant events in Chinese and world history. Recalled in every detail, this event is still famous for its striking images of thousands of protesters gathered beneath the iconic portrait of Mao Zedong at Tiananmen Square in Beijing, demanding freedom of speech, democracy, and political reform. However, the protest ended in bloodshed and turmoil that shook China. Let's delve into the details and learn about this famous event and its lasting consequences. The spark. In the spring of 1989 in China, the Tiananmen Square protest began as a specific issue: the government's handling of Pham Van Dong, a university student in Beijing who was allegedly harassed and expelled from school after being accused of stealing a bicycle. This incident sparked the first protest, drawing the participation of hundreds of students and citizens. However, the protest quickly expanded and transformed into a larger movement against corruption, unemployment, and calls for freedom of speech and political reform. The duration and scale of the protest escalated rapidly, with thousands joining in. This spiraled out of control, prompting the Chinese government to suppress the movement. A bloody crackdown. The final crackdown on the Tiananmen Square protest began in early June 1989 when the Chinese government decided to use military force to quell the demonstration. On June 3rd, Chinese troops armed with rifles and tanks began advancing on Beijing. This suppression led to the deaths of hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent protesters and civilians. The Tiananmen Square protest came to a bloody end on June 4th when Chinese troops entered Tiananmen Square and used force to disperse and kill protesters. The image of soldiers on tanks chasing down protesters became an enduring symbol of the crackdown. Consequences and detainment. Following the suppression, the Chinese government carried out a massive crackdown on those who had participated in the protest and those suspected of being involved. Many were arrested, detained, and sentenced on charges of subversion or anti-government activities. This crackdown had long-lasting consequences. Families of the protesters were affected and often subjected to pressure and surveillance. Freedom of speech was severely restricted, and information about the 1989 events was strictly censored within China. Memorials and access to Tiananmen Square were restricted or closed on anniversaries. Global impact. The Tiananmen Square protest attracted international attention and support. Many countries and international organizations condemned the crackdown and called on the Chinese government to respect human rights and freedom of speech. However, international intervention was limited, and China faced diplomatic and economic tensions as a result of the events. Several countries even imposed economic sanctions on China in the aftermath. Conclusion. The 1989 Tiananmen Square protest remains a sensitive and heavily censored topic within China. Despite more than 3 decades having passed, the event still lingers in the minds of those who lived through it and the world. The protest demonstrated the courage and desire for freedom of its participants, and its consequences continue to impact China's politics and society today. Thank you for reading and following the story of the 1989 Tiananmen Square protest. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated on more exciting content and valuable insights on our channel. We greatly appreciate your support, and we look forward to continuing to explore the world together through our videos and information. See you in the next videos.